So whereas in uniform quantizer, the characteristics are linear and the step size is fixed. And for weak signals, the step size is small, and for the strong signals, the step size is large in the case of non-uniform quantizer. Therefore, the quantization noise reduces to improve the signal to noise ratio. So here, if you see this particular diagram, so at the low levels, the step size is less, and at the high strong signals, the step size is large. For weak signals, the step size is less, and for the strong signals, the step size is large. That is, the step size is thus varied according to the signal levels to keep the signal to noise ratio adequately high. So the step size is small at low input signal levels, hence quantization error is also small at these inputs. Therefore, signal to quantization noise power ratio is improved at low signal levels. And the step size is higher at high input levels. Hence, the signal to noise power ratio remains same throughout the dynamic range of the quantizer. But in practice, it is difficult to implement the non-uniform quantization because it is not known in advance about the changes in the signal levels. So we don't know the signal level changes in advance. Therefore, it is difficult to implement the non-uniform quantization. Therefore, the non-uniform quantization is particularly achieved by means of a process which is called compounding. So, compounding is a technique by which the non-uniform quantization can be achieved. The non-uniform quantization can be achieved. So, in compounding at the transmitter, the weak signals are amplified and strong signals are attenuated. Okay, the weak signals are amplified and the strong signals are attenuated before applying them to a uniform quantizer. So the process is called compression. So this process is called compression and it can be achieved by means of a compressor. And at the receiver, the opposite operation, reversed operation will be performed. So which is called expansion. And this can be achieved by a process known as expander. So this is the thing. The compression of the signal at the transmitter and expansion at the receiver, which is called the compounding. Compression plus expansion is called as compounding. So these are the compression characteristics and these are the expansion characteristics, restoration characteristics. And the boosted signals are brought back to their original amplitudes at the receiving end by means of this expander. And here a particular form of compression law is used to get the linear compressor characteristics for small amplitudes of the input signal and logarithmic characteristics of large signals. So different compression techniques are used. Linear compression characteristics for small amplitudes of the input signal and logarithmic characteristics of large signals. So there are two types of compounding techniques, Euler compounding technique and Mueller compounding technique. So the Mueller compounding technique. So Mueller compounding technique is continuous in nature. So here the compressor characteristics is continuous and it is approximately linear for small values of input levels and logarithmic for high input levels. And uniform quantization is achieved at mu is equals to 0, where the characteristic curve is linear and no compression is done. And in Mueller has mid-thread at the origin. At the origin, mid-thread is existed. Hence, it contains a 0 value. Therefore, the number of levels in Mueller compounding technique is 2 to the power of n minus 1. Because it has mid-thread at the origin. And Mueller compounding is used for speech and music signals, and it is used in North America and Japan. And coming to the ALA compounding, so here also the compressor characteristics is piecewise mode of linear segments for low input levels and logarithmic segment for the high input levels. Piecewise mode of linear segments for low input levels and logarithmic for the high input levels. And uniform quantization is achieved at A is equals to 1. Uniform quantization is achieved at A is equals to 1, where the characteristic curve is linear and no compression is done. ALA has mid-rise at the origin. So mid-rise at the origin means, so this position, mid-rise position. So the origin is in the mid-rise position. Hence, it contains a non-zero value. Therefore, the number of levels in ALA compounding are 2 to the power of n, whereas in Mueller compounding, the number of levels are 2 to the power of n minus 1. So these are very important in order to solve the problems. And the ALA compounding is used for PCM telephone systems. And the input and output relationship, of Mueller compounding and ALA compounding are given by these expressions. Y is equals to log 1 plus mu mod x divided by log 1 plus mu, where mu is a constant, positive constant, and when mu is equals to 0 for uniform quantizer. Mu is equals to 0 for uniform quantizer. So x and y are the normalized input and output voltages. And coming to the ALA compounding, the output y is given by a mod x by 1 plus log a for 0 less than or equals to mod x less than or equals to 1 by a, and 1 plus log a mod x by 1 plus log a, where 1 by a less than or equals to mod x less than or equals to 1. When a is equals to 1, we get uniform quantization. So the practical value for A is 87.56, and both ALA and Mueller compounding is used for PCM telephone systems. And these are the compounding characteristics. So this figure shows the input-output characteristics of the compounding techniques of ALA compounding and Mueller compounding. So ALA compounding is used in European countries. Mueller compounding is used in North America. And here one parameter is defined in ALA and Mueller compounding techniques, that is the reciprocal slope of compression curve defines the quantum steps. So the quantum step is defined as reciprocal slope of compression curve. dy by dx indicates the slope of the compression curve, where dx by dy indicates the reciprocal slope of the compression curve, which is given by log 1 plus mu by mu. And for ALA compounding, the quantum steps, which is the reciprocal slope of compression curve, is defined as 1 plus log a by a for 0 less than or equals to x less than or equals to 1 by a, and 1 plus log a into mod x for 1 by a less than or equals to mod x less than or equals to 1. And this shows the compression characteristics, and this equation indicates the signal to noise ratio of compounded PCM system. So it shows the signal to noise ratio of compounded PCM system.